Hello everyone, welcome to the Trophy Coins channel. Tonight we're going to be examining a rare trade dollar, the 1873 CC. Now why did I pick this particular coin for tonight's episode? Well, I was going through the database and what I'm doing is searching for coins, valuable coins where I don't have any images yet. And the way I do that is I just do a big sort on the number of images that I have that are identified as being condition census, and this particular coin came to the top of the list. So I said, okay, let's look at all of the 1873 CC dollars and find out what the finest example is, how nice the top 10 examples actually are, how expensive they are, and what kind of history these coins have. Now, the trade dollars were made specifically for circulation in the Orient. So a lot of these were shipped overseas. They circulated primarily in China, and they were competing at the time against the Mexican 8 reales and other bullion coins that were sent overseas. For this reason, they are very difficult to find in nice condition, and those from the Carson City Mint are even more difficult because Carson City, they're just not generally known for high quality example coins. And this is not just trade dollars, but all examples of every denomination. So finding a nice, super high quality example of any Carson City coin is a real challenge. If we look at the 1873 CCs, and I'll go ahead and scroll down here a little bit and show you the very first one here. Now this is not a very good image. PCGS does have a very good image of this coin. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to use those yet, or we haven't gotten permission to use them yet. So I relied on an old Stax image. This one is an MS65. It has been graded by PCGS, and this is basically the finest known example. This was once owned, if you look at the provenance here, by Bruce Moreland, who is known as Trade Dollar Nut in the industry, and he put together pretty much the finest collection of silver dollars, including bus dollars, seated Liberty dollars, trade dollars. I don't think he ever played around with the Morgan dollars, but if it's a trade dollar, he really loved that series and did a phenomenal job of putting together the finest collection ever assembled. I believe many of the coins went to Deloy Hansen, and I'm not sure if Hansen has upgraded any of the coins, but it is possible that he now has the finest collection ever assembled because Bruce sold his collection and many of the coins went to Mr. Hansen. Anyway, Bruce Moreland owned this coin as a PCGS 65. It shows it going to Cornelius Vermeulen. Now this is not really right because Bruce would have purchased this coin after 2001, I believe, and then it was sold after that. So I'm going to have to change the order here, but the significant portion is that it was owned by Bruce Moreland. That's a great name if you're a trade dollar collector. It's currently owned by the Black Cat Collection, another phenomenal collection of high quality coins listed on the PCGS registry as a PCGS MS65, same numbers it had before when Bruce owned it. So apparently, well, let's go back to that one. So apparently Hansen did not get this coin. It's currently owned by Black Cat. So there's a little competitive thing going on there between Black Cat and Deloy Hansen. We go down to the next finest example. This is a PCGS MS64 CAC. We do record the old green holders, old generation holders, like a Rattler holder. We do old holders for ANAX and NGC because they generally bring a premium in the market. So they're going to be ranked higher than a non-CAC graded coin, which is the case here. We have a CAC graded coin, and it's going to be ahead of another 64. This one is formerly from the Bender family collection that was just sold recently in 2022. And you can see that we get some price information here that indicates that it really has not gone up in value much since 2005. Part of that is because we no longer have people like Bruce Moreland going after these things, but here we see that in 2005 this particular coin sold for $80,500, and Mr. Bender bought it for $55,200, so he made money on it, but overall it has declined in value $2,500 since 2005. The third finest example is an MS-64. This is not a CAC certified coin, and you can see the image here. This came from a sale in 2007 where it sold for $46,000, and here we are 17 years later, it barely sold for another $2,000. So the price for these high-end trade dollars, at least on the 1873 CC, has remained fairly stable. We go down to the next coin, another MS-64, and you can see this has numerous sales since 2008, and again the pricing runs in the $34,500 range, slightly higher in 2018, and then sold later in 2018. Well, actually it didn't sell, so we have no more price information on that. Every coin that's listed here, I try to get the most up-to-date information on it, and I do that by going to the auction records, private sales that I'm aware of, and then I also go to the PCGS website to look at the photographs to see if any of these coins have been regraded, upgraded, or anything like that. In this case here, this has been a stable MS-64. It was originally graded by NGC in 2008, and now it's in a PCGS MS-64 holder. The next coin down is another MS-64. So you can see on 1873 we have numerous MS-64 examples. This one seems to have some pretty nice color on it, and this one sold in 2006 for $33,000, and then it sold in 2019 as part of the Greensboro collection for $36,000, and as you can see here, it is now in the Deloy Hansen collection. So Hansen has an MS-64, Black Hat has the MS-65, and you can see where there's competition here at the very high end between these two collectors. Here we have another MS-64. This is from an old Superior sale. This has not reappeared on the market since 2003 that we're aware of, and this one has a pretty high record of 41,400. Going down one more coin, another 64, and you can see by looking at the images that they're all demonstrably different, and that's the importance of doing a visual condition census. If you look at a written census or a census that does not have images, it is difficult to tell if this is a duplicate or not. When you have the image, you know exactly which coin has sold when, and if it has reappeared on the market, if it's in a set registry, if it's photographed by PCGS. You get a lot of information by having the image, and it's very critical for provenance research to be able to differentiate between the two. And you could do that here on this particular coin. You can see these toning spots here. Those don't appear on any other example that is in the current census listed here. This one, sold in 2003, has not reappeared on the market to my knowledge, and it sold for $30,000. So the MS-64, as you can see, sell for in the mid to high 20,000s to the mid to low 30,000s in that price range. There is a price record, as we talked about, 41,400. I don't know if that would hold up today. Again, we're not here, the census is not really interested in setting market prices for these coins. It's really just to give you an idea of when they have appeared at auction and how much they sold for. So using that information, I guess you could liken them to comparables in the real estate market, where you say, okay, we've got X number of MS64s that have appeared on the market, and they've sold at these various price levels. And from that, you can extrapolate a current price that you can use to either buy or sell a coin that you're interested in. On this coin here, now we're down to the MS63 plus grade. That's a plus is always a nice thing to have on a certified coin. And I believe this is it's the only plus graded 1873 CC dollar. And you can see the price now drops down significantly from MS64. Half a grade makes a huge difference in price. We can see that these are, this one's sold as an MS63 for $16,200 and then was upgraded prior to this Goldberg auction as a 63 plus. It did not sell in the Goldberg sale, so we're still trying to test the water to see what a 63 plus is really worth. MS63, beautiful coin here. This came out of the Gardner collection, a really phenomenal collection, very extensive collection of primarily coins from the 1800s. Put together a really nice collection. Sold recently, well, I guess 10 years ago. Wow, it's hard to believe it was 10 years ago. And here we have a 63 that sold for $32,900. So that's a pretty good price for a 63. That also had a CAC sticker. That has a lot to do with the premiums that people pay for these coins. So I think the fact that it was from the Gardner collection, had a CAC sticker, it sold for $32,900. We can actually see what Mr. Gardner made on this particular coin. He paid $21,850 for it, and then 3 years later, it sold for an over $11,000 profit. Not a bad day at the office. Now we're down to the 63s. This is another 63 CAC. This apparently is a duplicate in the Black Cat collection. It's still listed as of today on the PCGS registry. So apparently Black Cat has duplicates and is retaining some of them for the time being. This one sold in 2020 for $21,738. Now we're down below the top 10. This is another MS60. Actually, this MS64, I got to fix that actually. This is going to move up to that little cluster of MS64s in there. So that's one of the nice things about going through this exercise here. I'm actually catching errors in the website that I can fix, and they'll be fixed tomorrow as I go through this thing. So that's one of the benefits of being able to publish on the internet. It's not like when you publish it in a book and you see an error and you can't fix it for a year or 2 years, or you may never fix it at all if you don't republish. The nice thing about the internet is you can fix it and it's done overnight. And finally, we have another MS63, and there is a cluster of MS63s that go on here, but like I say, we try to do the top 10 only, unless it's a rarity. The 1873 is a rarity, but it's not significant enough to where we're going to try to capture every MS63 that appears on the market. And this one sold for $21,850. So as you can see, the images show us a lot. This has a toning streak on this particular example. How do we use this to identify a little bit of toning over here in the right side of the reverse? Here we have a little toning spot. That's an identifying mark there. This one here, we have sort of some sort of connecting line. I don't know if that's a dye line or a toning streak. Here we have definitely toning streak. And this here where appears to be remnants of an old fingerprint. Here we have some abrasions that are very, very shallow, but you can see them in the right side here, and then also on the left side. These are shallow abrasions here, identifying marks, and so we use to show the difference between these particular coins. We've already talked about the spots that appear on this one here, and on this one here you've got some toning spots. Interesting color pattern here, different than the front. The front seems to be a brownish color. Here we have a bluish lavender color. So this is what we call plate matching. We look at all these different times that they've appeared on the market, and every time you see this this particular coin, the photographs match in every one of these sales. We try to get accurate matching. You can match them up by serial number. You can match them up by photographs. Sometimes you can actually use the descriptions, because they'll actually say something about, oh, there's a little toning spot that we use as an identifier here above the eagle's wing. This one is also nicely toned. This one has a little bit of a splotchy toning, but this is absolutely unique picture. This coin is immediately recognizable. Anytime it appears on the market, you'll see that. And here we have the MS64 with another toning streak here. And here we have some carbon spotting, it looks like. And then on this one here, this is actually, if you look at the PCGS image, it's a very pretty coin. This is the finest known, the MS65. You got a toning streak here, some what I call pull-away toning here around some of the stars. Just a very beautiful coin. So if you're interested in an 1873 CC dollar, this gives you a good idea of what the very best coins bring, what they've sold for at auction, who's owned them. You know, sometimes people collect named pedigrees, such as Eliasberg. Gardner's a good one. Bender's a good one. Black Cat is going to be a good one someday when they sell. Simpson is a good one. Eliasberg. I mean, these are very famous names that we see repeatedly on high-end coins. And anytime you can own a finest known example, my dog is bigger than your dog. So that's the whole purpose of this exercise here, is to give you an idea of how these coins rank relative to each other. Feel free to go around the website. Last night I did an introduction video. If you'd like, go back and see that. I'll post a little link to that. Leave a comment if you're interested in seeing any particular coin. As I mentioned last night, this is the squeaky wheel principle, and as I get requests, I will do those particular coins. If I don't get a request, then I will choose a coin, and I'll continue doing that until some of the requests show up. I don't think we had very many views last night, but as time goes on, hopefully we'll get more and more people following the channel. And along those lines, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a like, leave a comment, and that'll help us grow the channel on the internet. Thank you much for being here. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.